All right, so we are on benchmark one more time. And like I was just saying, paragraph 6, you guys were supposed to have read yesterday and done your highlighting. Well, we read it together, but you were supposed to do your highlighting and write your main idea sentence on your own. I would love for someone to unmute and share their sentence with us.
The white people never cared about what the black people were thinking in their head. They just did whatever they wanted to.
Okay, I like it.
Mr. Point.
Is this a comment on benchmark?
No.
Okay, then I need you to hold on to it. Do you have a sentence you want to share?
No.
Okay, can I get one more person to share their sentence?
Peter Sweat was not the only person who wanted to be treated better. A couple named Shelley wanted to buy a house, but the white owners did not trust them. They went to court and eventually won.
Awesome. Very good, very good. All right, let's move on to paragraph 7. I have someone read paragraph 7 for me. It's another long one. Go ahead, Morgan.
As I think back on these courageous people who came before, I wonder what became of the challenge the Sweats and the Shelleys provided. They worked for liberty. They fought for freedom. They insisted on justice. They were optimistic and as I was, the racial interaction would breed understanding, and that understanding, in turn, would produce healing and redemption. They were hopeful as I was that over time America would grow toward justice and expand toward equality. Had I thought in the wake of Smith versus Albright and Shelley versus Kramer and Brown versus Board of Education that I would be giving a talk now on the anniversary of our nation's independence, I would have predicted that I would have spoken with much pride and optimism of the enormous progress this nation has made. But as I survey the world Heman, Sweat, and the Shelleys left behind, I wish I could say that racism and prejudice were only distant memories. I wish I could say that this nation had traveled far along the road to social justice, and that the liberty and equality were just around the bend. I wish I could say that America has come to appreciate diversity and see and accept similarity.
Awesome, very good. So he's wishing he could say these things, right? All of these things that they fought for, but he can't because there's still racism and other injustices going on in the world. So when I look at this and look, okay, again, what should I highlight? And if you guys have noticed, I don't highlight the entire paragraph, right? I am only looking for bits and pieces of the most important parts to highlight. When we're highlighting, we don't want to just highlight just to make it look colorful. We want to highlight the things that have meaning. So I'm going to highlight what became of the challenge the Sweats and Shelleys provided. So what happened? What happened from this challenge? Hopeful, so he was hopeful that over time America would grow towards justice and expand toward equality. It's what he was hoping for, but is that what happened? I wish I could say that racism and prejudice were only distant memories. I wish the nation had traveled far along for social justice, liberty, equality. I wish that America has come to appreciate diversity and accept similarity. Again, I'm just highlighting the key parts. I could have highlighted those entire sentences, but by doing it this way, it really stands out. Appreciate diversity, social justice, accept similarity. I can really focus in on those parts that I want to in my key details, okay? And then when I think about my sentence that kind of sums up this paragraph, paragraph 7, I think about how America has not made enough progress. Right? He wishes he could say all these things, but he can't because America has not made enough progress toward liberty and equality for all people. So he wishes he could say those things, but he can't. Okay? So he wishes he could say those things, but he can't. Only have your hand up, please, if you have a question. Don't raise your hand to read right now. Jaslyn, you have a question?
I had more to number 6, but I wrote a little bit more on the other page because I had a very long paragraph.
Okay,
Can I read it?
please.
So they also never thought about how they were alike. They just looked at one difference in that and said that they were completely different.
I like it. Avery, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the bottom, is that a school?
So, yep, that's the next thing I was going to talk about. So, as a result of Marshall winning Brown versus the Board of Education in 1954, public schools in the South became integrated. So, yes, that is a school. They look a lot older than regular school students, don't they? But I think a lot of that had to do with, you know, how people dressed back then and did their hair and such. This is probably a high school picture, okay, showing the integration of public schools because of Thurgood Marshall and the lawsuit Brown versus the Board of Education.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's move on to the next side. That top picture, civil rights unrest was often in the headlines when Marshall gave this speech. This photo shows the aftermath of an incident in Los Angeles, California in 1992. All right. Jordan, is your hand up to read? If so, go ahead.
But as I looked around, I see not a nation of unity, but of division. Afro and white and
Indigenous.
indigenous, even
And immigrant. Right? Indigenous and immigrant.
rich and poor, educated and
Illiterate.
even many educated whites and successful heroes have given up on an integration and lost hope on equality. Do you see nothing in common except the need to flee as fast as we can from our inner cities? A Pullman porter once told me that he had never been any place in the United States where he did not have to put his hand up in front of his face to discover he was
A Negro.
a Negro. I'm afraid of the porter's experience is still true.
Good. Real quick, indigenous. Indigenous means like Native Americans or Indians. So African or white, or Afro or white. Indigenous or immigrants. So either people, the Native Americans who were here, or people who came here from other countries. Rich or poor. Educated and illiterate. Illiterate is basically not educated. Okay, you can't read, you can't write. That's what illiterate is. But really, this is what he sees. He sees a nation, not a nation of unity, but of division. And he's naming all of those different divisions that there are within the United States. Okay, I see lots of hands up. I haven't asked for another reader yet, so I'm guessing those are all questions, unless you want to lower your hands to let me know that it's not a question. Avery, you have a question.
So on the top in the picture, is that a fire or is that like a car crash?
Nope, it's a fire. Amaya, question?
Okay.
I see in the picture I see like a crane that's like lowering its thing. Oh, is that just
I think that's actually a fire truck. I think that's the ladder on a fire truck, probably raising up to spray water on top of the fire.
Oh, now I see the person. Okay. I thought it was like rescuing or something.
Okay.
Well, it is, but I thought it was like a crane reaching down.
Uh-huh. All right. Let's see. Hazel, would you like to read?
Sure.
Okay.
We're on paragraph 9, right?
Paragraph 9, yep.
But there is a price to be paid for division and insulation, as recent isolation, and as recent events in California indicate. Look around. Can't you see the tension in Watts? Can't you feel the fear in Scarsdale? Can't you sense the
Alienation.
in Simi Valley, the despair in the South Bronx, the rage in Brooklyn?
Awesome. So there's a price to be paid for division and isolation, like for keeping people divided and not allowing them to interact with others. There's tension, there's fear, there's alienation, there's despair, and there's rage. Those are all examples of that, the things that are happening because of this division and isolation. So lots of good key details there. Let's think about a main idea statement. I would say, because the nation is still so divided over race, many people are afraid and angry. I'm just going to call on people to read. So you don't need to raise your hands for reading. I might try and get some new people in who haven't read yet. Give you a minute to copy that part down. Camden, will you read paragraph 10 for us when you're ready?
Sure. We cannot play ostrich democracy, just cannot flourish amid fear. Liberty cannot bloom amid hate. Justice cannot root amid rage. America must get to work in the chill climate in which we live. We must go against the prevailing wind. We must descend from the indifference. We must descend from the apathy. Descend from the fear, the hatred, and the mistrust. We must descend from a nation that has buried its head in the sand, waiting in vain for the needs of its poor, its elderly, and its sick to disappear and just blow away. We without jobs, education, or hope, we must descend from the poverty of vision and the emptiness of moral leadership. We must descend because America can do better, because America has no choice but to do better.
Good. So what are the things we need to move away from? We need to dissent from indifference. Indifference is just not caring, really. That's what indifference means. It means we don't really care. We must dissent from apathy. We must dissent from fear, hatred, mistrust, from a nation that's buried its head in the sand, okay? To people to just disappear. But most of all, America can do better, okay? He's not giving up on America. He's just saying, we can do better. So down below is, it's a picture in front of the Supreme Court. It says Thurgood Marshall with his associates on the steps of the US Supreme Court in May of 1954. Let's see. Mabel, will you read paragraph 11 for us? Are you there, Mabel? Looking for you, looking for you. There you are. Mabel, can you hear me? Okay, do you want to unmute and read us paragraph 11, please? Oh, okay. Let's go to Alana. Alana, can you read paragraph 11 for us? Are you there, Alana?
Who's ever reading, should they read paragraph 2 as well? Because it just says thank you.
You mean 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Alana, are you there? Where's Alana? She's logged on, but I don't hear her. All right. Strike 5. Let's have, looking through my names, who hasn't? Kurt, how about you? Will you read paragraph 11 for us?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The legal system can force open doors and sometimes even knock down walls, but it cannot build bridges. That job belongs to you and me, Afro and white, rich and poor, educated and illiterate. Our fates are bound together. We can run from each other, but we cannot escape each other. We will only attain freedom if we learn to appreciate what is different and muster the courage to discover what is fundamentally the same. America's diversity offers so much richness and opportunity. Take a chance, won't you? Knock down the fences that divide. Tear apart the walls that imprison. Reach out, freedom lies just on the other side. We should have liberty for all. Thank you.
Excellent. So what are we trying to do here? We're trying to knock down the fences that divide, tear apart the walls that imprison, right? Reach out. Freedom lies just on the other side. We should have liberty for all. That's what we need. We need liberty for all. So let's summarize these last 3 paragraphs, paragraph 10 through 12. Goes something like this. We as a nation can do better. Oh, hang on. Can do better. And we need to, and I'm going to put this in parentheses because I am directly quoting this part from the text. We need to knock down the fences and I closed my parentheses because that's the end of that part of the quote. Knock down the fences to provide, I'm going to again do a direct quote, liberty for all. And my period is going inside of my parentheses. And I really think that this statement rings true even for today, right? I think, as you guys know, and you hear people talk about, there's still battles going on. And it doesn't matter if it's based on race or color or gender or what. I think that we can always do better. Down below, we have a picture of the White House there. It says, as noted in Marshall's speech, the battle for equal rights is ongoing. The photo below is from the Million Man March on Washington in 1995. So that really wasn't all that long ago. When I look at that picture, it also kind of reminds me of Martin Luther King Jr. when he did his speech and how that one looked. Ashlyn.
So in the picture of the White House, are all those little colors people?
Yep, everything down here, these are all people. Down the sides, people, people, people. That's all people.
It looks like there's no road.
Well, and this isn't road right here. This is, it's all grass. It's actually called the mall, which is kind of funny because we think of malls as places that have stores. But there's this stretch between the Capitol and I believe it's Washington Monument, the tall, skinny one. It's just this big, long stretch of grass where they have festivals and like farmers markets and all kinds of things, and it's called the mall.
Okay, let me rephrase that. It looks like there's no ground.
There you go. Anthony, I see your hand is up.
Wait, in the middle, is that a wall or water?
Right here is, I think that's water.
Yeah, it's water.
Yeah.
It looks like a wall.
Well, I guess that just separates us.
Yep. All right, let me go ahead and switch over and we'll take a look at your slides. Don't leave me because I'm going to be putting you guys in some individual rooms to work again. And then we're going to come back and do some writing together after I give you a little bit of time to work on your slides. So, oh, I have to sneeze. Oh, let me, there it is.
Bless you.
Thank you. Let me find my, nope, not that. I want this. So what are we looking at on our benchmark slides today? We are on to day 2. For day 2, you are loading, loading, loading. Key details from these pages that we read. And then 28, it says, ostriches are known to hide from their enemies by sticking their head in the sand. Why is an ostrich an appropriate comparison? And if you remember, that was back in paragraph 10 when he says we cannot play ostrich. So if you need to look back to that on page 28, paragraph 10, to help you with that one. Okay.
You have an echo.
I fixed it. And then the next part is just a summary for the entire text. Okay. I'm going to give you guys, what time is it? 1:11. I'm going to give you guys about, we'll say until 11:20. I'm going to put you guys into individual breakout rooms. And then at 11:20, we're going to come back and we're going to do some writing. Okay. So 11:20, I'm going to stop you.